Welcome to TJ's podcast.
Yes. Oh, this is the most fun time of the day. Way more fun than doing amaretto shots.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? People don't do amaretto shots, do they? I never hear of that.
What do you use amaretto in?
It's an almond flavored liqueur, I think.
I don't know that I've ever had a cocktail with one in it, with amaretto in it.
But you used to pick on our friend Ace because he drank amaretto sours. You remember amaretto sours? Yeah. And it was a girly drink, but he only did it back in the day when he was in college and all that. But you use it for a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Cocktails, usually fancy cocktails.
Yeah.
But I just never hear of anybody doing a shot of amaretto.
No. You know what a lot of people are doing on TikTok now? They just go to Sonic, and instead of crafting their own mixers, they just go to Sonic, get the Route 44, the huge drink that they have, with all the syrups that they want, and then they take it home and spirit them up.
They make it all spirited. I think I'm the one that suggested that in the beginning.
Oh, did you?
I think so, yeah. Because in Louisiana, where I'm from, you can have, they have these drive-thrus, and then they sell liquor in frozen beverages. Like you could get a Crown and Coke Icy at a drive-thru, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense to go to Sonic and get those slushies or whatever they're called.
Yeah. My dad's got, I think I told you this, my dad, when I was at home for Christmas or something, he was like, you want Hennessy?
Oh, yeah.
I went, what? Hell no, I don't want a Hennessy. When did you're drinking Hennessy?
Yeah.
I love it.
Your dad loves the hen dog.
I love it. Guy on the golf course had it, and we were pounding it. I mean, I was lit.
That's all he drinks it straight, or what do you call it? Straight up, neat, yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's brandy, isn't it? I mean, cognac. Is it cognac?
I really don't know.
I know Cavassier is cognac.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, he's drinking Cavassier, but it was Hennessy.
I don't know what the hen dog is classified. Look that up quickly. And then also see if I'm right about amaretto being almond liqueur.
Hennessy's a cognac.
Yeah.
Cognac.
Right about that.
Amaretto is a sweet Italian liquor.
It's not a liqueur?
Oh, no, it's a liqueur.
Okay.
What kind of liqueur? Made from almonds and apricot pits.
Ooh, that's my favorite part of the apricot. The pits.
The pit of it all. Peach stones or a mix of the three. Yum.
Yeah. It is good.
Is it?
Yeah. There's a fancy kind. It's an Italian name in a pretty bottle that my friend Mark had at his mountain house one time, and he gave me some of it over one of those giant ice cubes, and it was good. It was good. I don't know that you're supposed to be drinking it that way though. Maybe you are. I don't know, but it was good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a bit of a liquor aficionado, isn't he?
Oh yeah. But I like the peanut butter whiskeys and all of that. My daughter sent me a thing the other day that I've got to find, because I don't like straight, just regular whiskey, but mainly because I find it disgusting. But this is Dirty Monkey banana peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh, that could be good.
Mm-hmm.
Banana peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, and I just drink that when I drink peanut butter whiskey, like that Screwball is the brand. I just put it on ice and sip it.
Do people make cocktails with that?
Mm-hmm.
You can, really?
You can do a peanut butter and jelly cocktails made with, fruity types of liqueur.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like a raspberry liqueur, and then the peanut butter whiskey and stuff. Really good.
My brothers are big whiskey guys, and they know all. They're snobs about it, and they look down on But yeah, I don't even know what their favorites are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my neighbor is really into. I think it's a trendy thing over the last few years. For a long time it was tequila. You have these tequila tasting nights, and they'd come in with their little briefcases of different stuff they were going to sample with tequila, and they'd get a flight of different ones.
Just drinking straight tequila?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I am not equipped to do that. I don't think I'd be so messed up.
I know.
So
I don't know if it's like a wine tasting with a lot of like a wine club where you're supposed to spit it out. You know, they do that. But I don't know if they do that with the tequila or not. But maybe they do because, you know, you got to drive home.
Yeah, right.
But if you ever see me saying, I can't do that Friday night, I'm going to a tequila tasting, then call somebody because I'm being held captive.
Yeah. They're going to have you committed.
Call the authorities. Okay, I'm torn here. We'll start with the Gram Slam because I love being proven right. Everybody knows that, which happens all the time. All the time. Mm-hmm. And it's usually because of something that I've said for a long time that comes to fruition, a.k.a. fluition. After I've been saying it for a long time, people have been telling me that I'm crazy and that you're stupid and you don't have an open mind and, you know, so forth and so on. But then I'm torn on this one, and then I'll explain why. But this is a therapist saying that too many people in today's times are in therapy. Everybody doesn't have to be in therapy, which I would not be surprised, even though she's a professional, if she got that from listening to our show, because I exaggerate this a lot of times just to be silly, but I have been pretty much the lone voice in that for years. I saw it coming, where everybody's problems are not their fault because they can go to a therapist and say that it's something they're working through. But here's what she says.
I say a hot take as a therapist. I think we've taken the concept of therapy way too far. And don't get me wrong, this is my profession. I believe that therapy changes lives. But I feel like so often what you see happening in therapy is people coming in, talking about their lives, talking about how they're running themselves into the ground, how they isolate themselves from people. And then a therapist is like, I think you need to slow the down. And they're like, well, I can't. So then what happens then? We're talking to people about how they need to like hang out with their friends more, take care of their body better. And they're like, yeah, I can't do that. And yes, this is a major problem within the society we live in. But trust me, no therapist is that good or has like a secret phrase or tip that will cure you from the stress or pain if you are just not meeting your basic needs as a human.
Okay. So glad that a professional therapist has pointed out that I'm right. However, why am I torn, Riggins, to not be over the top about this?
Because she pronounces it often instead of often?
Well, that's a small thing.
That was what stuck out.
But how can I take this and throw it up in people's faces who have mocked me and rolled their eyes at me and all of that and say, here's the proof right here. This is a therapist, when she can't even speak for more than 38 seconds without saying the F word, and when she says like 1,000 times and she sounds like she's in middle school. I can't do it. I just can't use that as the evidence that I've been right all this time. Yeah. Sure, it's good to hear, it's good to know, but you know what? I've known that I'm right the whole time. If anybody has known that I've been right, it is I.
Yeah, but you got to take the support where you can get it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so, I think it's important now, as the first person, the real first therapist that's come out to agree. I think you got to sort of ignore the blemishes and or maybe edit it out.
Now, that leads me to think that she's not even really a successful therapist.
Well, that may be true. I don't know.
I'm
sure there's bad therapists out there, no doubt.
Yeah, that clip is 38 seconds, and she can't speak for 38 seconds without saying the F word in a professional opinion of something. She's giving her opinion as a professional that we're supposed to respect and take as an expert or an authority on a subject like mental health, and she has to cuss while she's doing it. Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's terrible.
And then you throw in the upspeak, and then you throw in the like, and then often, you know. So close to a win there for me, but and just can't do it. Can't do it.
She's cute too.
You think? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not bad.
I love the idea of like sitting down in a therapist's office and she's like, got her glasses on and her hair up and she's like trying to pick my brain apart. Oh my God, that would just be so sexy.
Now, would you be able to go in and get the real therapy and be able to focus on getting better if she's really hot?
Probably not.
Because you'd be fantasizing the whole time and you'd be trying to say whatever you think would impress her instead of what your real feelings are.
Being very manipulative and it probably wouldn't work. But God, is it an attractive idea?
Is that a recurring fantasy for you?
In some ways, a powerful woman.
Like a doctor is examining you and she just decides, you know what? I don't want you to be my patient anymore. Yeah. I want you to be my bed partner.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I'm in this robe or this gown and my ass is out. Can I take you to dinner first? I don't know. There's something very attractive about an assertive, smart, powerful woman that I love.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it because that it's like a California condor? They're just so rarely spotted in the wild.
Those are extinct, aren't they?
No, not yet. They're very endangered.
They're very endangered.
Not extinct. Their numbers are growing, but
yeah. I mean, I think.
No,
that's
I'm just kidding, ladies.
I think that's why I was always attracted to like Martha Stewart, just kind of very kind of cold and a little icy.
Yeah.
And I look at therapists that way.
Yeah, it makes sense that you should seek an unattractive therapist.
Yeah.
See,
or somebody that you're not attracted to, be it a dude or a, whatever.
Yeah. Unattractive.
I guess.
That's what that means.
Well, George Clooney's very attractive.
Yeah.
If he was my therapist, I'd still say he's attractive, but I don't want to sleep with you.
Mm-hmm. But you'd say you're attracted to him?
I think he's attractive.
Yeah. To you?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to go to an attractive man either as a therapist.
Why not?
Because I'd be sitting, you know how I have trouble focusing anyway. My mind's always just, I'd be sitting there thinking the whole time about, how easy his life must be. He's successful and handsome and he probably has no worries in the world because he's got the two things that our society values so much: attractiveness and money. Obviously he's an understanding person because of his job and the success of his practice.
You don't think?
I would be jealous, sitting there being jealous and all that. That's what I would be thinking about. I wonder what his life is like.
But do you think that's accurate? That he doesn't worry about anything because he's attractive and he's got money?
He probably worries about some things. Depends on if he's got kids or not, because you're always worrying about your kids, no matter what. But having money is, I don't know if people realize just how, because they say money can't buy happiness, which that's true, but having money does take away some stresses in your life that cause you worry and discomfort and things like that. But it's when you start looking at money as your whole reason for living is when you get into the trouble morally. But yeah, a handsome therapist, psychiatrist that's a successful practice. Yeah, and I can't imagine the stress level of that being the same as it is when it's time for back to school and you don't know if you're going to be able to get all your kids' school supplies because you got 3 kids and you got to get 3 kids' school supplies.
I think the better gig is that guy on TikTok, the real handsome younger guy, really handsome, and he's a veterinarian. Mm-hmm. And women just go. So, I mean, he doesn't even have to, like, I think a therapist might carry the baggage of some of their patients around with them. Uh-huh. They're thinking about, like, this person's not doing it. But a dog, no matter how much you love dogs, still a dog. It's still a cat, and it's not your cat, it's not your dog. So I think it's probably easier to kind of leave that at work than it would be for a therapist.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like my ideal scenario.
But a therapist, now that you mention it, also has to worry about some crazed patient killing them.
Sure.
Or like Michael Scott, who got kidnapped by his patient and held in the basement.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
What was that show called?
I know.
Was it called The Therapist?
You watched that. I never saw that.
It was good.
People loved it.
It was intense.
On
yeah.
FX.
Intense. I like FX.
Yeah, they got good stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was good. But especially today when so many people are wanting to kill people.
Yeah. And everybody's like,
Could you just do it where you only take patients who are just worried about, their suburban life and all that. They're not, that far over the edge where they may be violent. Like once you see that they could be violent, you go, you know what? I'm going to recommend someone who's way more qualified than I am. And it's like, get out of it first, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Or be able to just look at their questionnaire, their application, and go, he's not taking new patients right now.
Yeah. They said the highest density of therapists is in Manhattan for obvious reasons. Yeah. There's a lot of people there. But they say the therapists above 75th Street or whatever are the therapists that go, hey, you know what? You're doing great. You got everything. But the doctors below 76 are the ones that really have to deal with the wackos.
Mm-hmm.
That need
the clinical, they call them clinical psychiatrists.
Exactly. They need more than therapy, maybe.
All right, so it's going all over the internets. There is a blind influencer who has been done wrong, and everybody's talking about it. But I'm going to put the blame on something that is not even mentioned in this whole story, because I know who to blame, and it's not the person made out to be the villain in the whole thing. So we'll get into that next.
TJ's Podcast.
Hey, it's Ace, and for a long time, we've told you about Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic, and how phenomenal a job they did helping me with my left wrist. Well, this is Neil. Neil Simler is a member of the Ace and TJ Radio family. Neil, you took the free consultation to have them check out your elbow and talk about what happened just when you went for the free consultation.
They were very straightforward and let me know that they weren't going to treat any of my ailments if they weren't 100% sure that they were going to be able to effectively help my issue. And once were they pushy with trying to get me to spend more money and do, the higher end shots.
Now, 3 months later, how do you feel?
I'm 95% better, if not 100%. It's just been one of the best decisions I've made. Do yourself a favor, get out there as soon as possible.
Set up your free consultation today at acetj.com/neogenics. It's Neogenix. Neogenics, Charlotte's most trusted stem cell clinic.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Back to TJ's Podcast.
Got me a new thumb drive. I mean, I don't mean to be flexing or nothing, but it's a special one too, obviously, because there were a lot of specs for this that Tech D Rob wrote down for me to go find on my own, and I couldn't.
Oh, brother.
He had to take to the internet to get it.
What's so special about this thumb drive?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. It's got more gigabytes and megabytes and write speed, like RITE speed.
Whoa.
WRITE speed. So yeah, and it's kind of like a switchblade. You see how the little prong part is not visible? You see that? Now watch this. All of a sudden, boom! There it is.
Oh man!
Push of the thumb, bam! Right there. You gonna retract it? Boom! Back down.
Wow.
Back in its scabbard.
I didn't realize it was in the presence of something that powerful.
Man, cutting edge. All right, so there's a blind TikTok. Is he an influencer or just a TikTok person?
TikTok creator.
Creator, okay. Seems like a very nice fella.
Yeah.
And he is not Stevie Wonder blind. He is blind and he sees everything blurry and like it's a pinhole, looking through a pinhole. So it's not complete darkness that he sees all the time. And he knows where to look into the camera. He knows how to look around while he's telling the story, making gestures and all with his eyes. And this is the story that he was telling that has gone viral about when he was just trying to go out to eat.
Okay. I'm blind and I just got kicked out of a restaurant in Seattle. I walked in with my guide dog, Mr. Maple, and immediately somebody rushed up to me and said, "No pets allowed, only service dogs." I said, "It's okay, he's a service dog." He looked at me, he looked at Maple, he said, "Emotional support dog." No, like a guide dog for the blind. I literally had this harness attached to him. I showed this to him. I said, "I'm blind." He said, "You don't look blind." And I said, "A lot of people in the blind community still have some functional vision." He said, "You're looking right at me." I said, "Yes, but it's like I have a pinhole of vision. It's all I can see." He said, "Listen, this isn't my first rodeo." He literally said that. He said, "This isn't my first rodeo." What is going on out there that would lead this man to believe that I was lying? And he said, "Do you see any other dogs in this restaurant?" I said, "Well, I honestly, no, I'm blind. There could be." I said I could come back with his paperwork, and he said, "If you step foot back in this restaurant with that dog, I will call the police." I'm speechless.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Awful.
But his question within his rant, where he's asking it almost as if it's a rhetorical question, of what is going on to make him think that I'm lying about this. Like he's asking that like the answer should be, who knows, this guy's crazy or whatever. But the answer is because so many people do lie about it. And this is what happens. Because you get so many people making up these stories about having their dog as a service dog or an emotional support, and it's gotten out of hand. We've had all those stories of it's gotten out of hand across the country, and airlines are not letting as many dogs on the flights and all of that stuff. And it ends up hurting the people who legitimately need service dogs, especially what we used to call seeing eye dogs. Because those used to be the only people that had service dogs, pretty much, were people who had who couldn't see. Now, then they came out with the other dogs that were trained to stop, people who have seizures and things like that, which is great. But then when people start taking advantage of it and they start showing up and they've got a Chihuahua saying that if my Chihuahua is not with me all the time, then I may have an anxiety attack or something. They get these special permits for these dogs, and they don't really have any health problems or anything. They're lying. It's just like, getting a counterfeit handicap parking sticker or placard thing. You abuse it. You got too many people abusing it, and then you build doubt in people, and then the ones who really legitimately qualify and need the exception to the rule get kicked out like this guy. Mm-hmm. So instead of ranting about the person at the restaurant, he needs to rant at all of the other people who can't leave the house without an animal in tow. Probably most of the people that live around him in Seattle. See, that's what should happen. If he had a Mr. Maples or whatever his name is, were a good seeing eye dog or guide dog, he would have already guided him out of that hellhole of Washington State.
Guided me down to Texas.
Right, to a free land. Yeah. But then again, who doesn't know the difference between... you don't have people faking seeing eye dogs. You have them faking those other things.
Yeah. Two things could be true. Yeah. That guy was also kind of a jerk. You don't look blind. Well,
right.
Tell me exactly what a blind person looks like.
Well, usually
on the harness it says I believe it says guide dog or service,
Yeah, it does.
service dog.
Yeah.
And it's got that huge plastic, metal handle that you see with blind people.
Look, I'm not saying that the manager of the restaurant, was justified because he'd been tricked so many times. He could have looked at the situation then and said, "Oh, okay, sorry about that. We just have so many people coming in here trying to break the rules and all that." And obviously not a worldly man to know that there are people considered blind who don't just see darkness all the time.
Yeah.
He's not very well read, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all this stuff, but the main problem I think comes from the fact that they're living in Seattle. I mean, that's not good for anybody.
It's really all there. Even Mr. Maples doesn't want to be there.
No.
Mr. Maples.
I bet if you took Mr. Maples around the mayor of Seattle, he'd probably bite the shit out of him.
Probably. He's like, there's even too much crap out here for me on the sidewalks, and the Space Needle sucks.
And what's the that just disgusting Congress member from there, Jayapal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the dog would probably be growling at her. She just got nasty oozing out of her. She just, ugh.
Yeah.
Do you picture being a golden retriever? That's what they always used to be, golden retrievers or German shepherds.
Yeah, I think his is a golden retriever, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see the dog. I
think his is.
He didn't show the dog, and that's the only time I've ever seen him.
I think his is. But I did have an unusual experience one time with a blind person that was using the seeing eye, the stick. What do you call that? The white cane.
Mm-hmm, the cane.
And they were, I guess, being taught how to use that cane. And I walked by with my dog Riley, and their person that was assisting them was like, "Hey, there's a dog right here. Would you like to pet it?" And I said, "Oh yeah, go ahead." And the person who was blind said, "No, thank you." And she goes, "No, reach down and pet the dog." And now that put me in a weird position. I was like, do I just like stand? And it was a young person. He was like, "No, thank you. I don't want to pet the dog." And I'm like, I'm going to just keep on walking. Like the person clearly doesn't want to touch the dog. It was weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't force them.
You don't force the person to touch the dog.
No, I said touch the dog.
Yeah.
My brother pretended to be blind in a strip club one night.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Was it funny?
Hilarious. He was entertaining, business people.
Oh, okay.
And he hates strip clubs, and so they were all like, "Hey, we got to go to a strip." They were in Dallas or somewhere. "We got to go to a strip club," and he's like, "Oh." But they're his customers, so he has to go with them. I mean, he doesn't just hate it; he's offended.
Yeah.
By strip clubs, not because he's offended at the nakedness and all. His intelligence is offended by that. He always says, "Trying to get money out of me for nothing. I'm not giving you any damn money. I don't even want to be in here."
Like kind of Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. And so
insult to my senses.
Yeah. So he said, "It's just to try to make it interesting for myself, to entertain myself. I put my sunglasses on. It was at night. I put my sunglasses on and just put my hand on the guy in front of me's shoulder, like he was leading me in. And I just sat there because he said, I don't want to have to pay attention." He said, but the next thing you know, they're all over there talking to him, feeling sorry for him. He's, I'm just trying to hide.
Yeah.
But he ended up accidentally, quote unquote, kicking over a table full of drinks and, like shifting in his seat to cross his legs and accidentally kicking the table in front of him.
Oh, it really was an accident.
No. No. He was doing it as part of the ruse.
They took it one step too far.
No, he said that all the other guys started yelling at him. And then the strippers were like, "You leave him alone." Like taking up for him and all.
Oh my gosh.
Just carrying on some bull.
Yeah.
But that was probably more than 20 years ago.
It's been a while since I've been in a strip club.
Yeah.
I think it was a bachelor party for somebody.
I'm going tonight.
Are you going to go tonight? Thursday night?
No.
I heard strip clubs are hot on Sunday nights. That's what I found out.
That
from
makes
the
sense.
One-star strip club reviews. They always go, "I went on a Sunday night and it was dead. Deader than my grandma's eggs." That's what one guy said. So gross.
Yeah, I don't know how. It's probably been at least 2.5 weeks.
At least. Do young guys go to strip clubs?
I don't know.
Is that like,
you
is
wonder
it like
about
baseball? Like it's an older guy's thing now?
that. I have no idea. Because, they have all the technology for that that's harming our society so much.
Yeah, but it's hard to compete with a real set of hoots right in your face. But yeah, when I was 20 or 21, I mean, that was like thrilling. Thrilling.
The only college age boy that I know is mine. And unless he's having them come in and dance in his room after we've gone to bed, then I don't.
What a revelation that would be.
He turns 21 next month, and he's never had a drink and doesn't plan on doing it when he's 21 either.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Not even on his 21st birthday?
Mm-mm. But then when you think about that, it makes me question myself as to, have I been in a situation in his life that he said, I'm never going to be that way.
Yeah, I don't want to end up like Dad.
Yeah. I don't think so, though. He has this weird thing that he gets really into something, so obsessed with it, has an addictive personality. And he's scared that if he ever drinks, that's what it would become. But then I try to tell him, you don't have to worry about that, because he and I are a lot alike. We get all into something, and then one day we just have no interest in it anymore ever. Just drop it. So I'm like, drink and have a good time for a few years, and then one day you'll wake up and you'll go, I'm finished drinking. I'm not interested in that anymore.
Yeah, that's how it usually works.
Yeah. Same with smoking. I told him start, smoke a little bit. Cigarettes. Yeah. The good stuff.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned smoking.
Parliaments.
Mm-hmm. But he won't do it. He just refuses to be anything but a nerd. All right, more coming up.
More of TJ's podcast is coming up.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Welcome back, world, to TJ's podcast.
With my little friend Riggins. My little buddy Riggins. Hey, I can't believe that we missed this, because we talk about so many things and we do so many different shows and all, trying to be balling on a budget. But Gypsy Rose Blanchett unveiled her new nose this week without bandages and all of that.
Mm-hmm. And a new hairstyle.
You can just kill that. Is she blonde?
Yeah.
That's right. And I thought she was trying to look all seductive with her hand thrown back over her head in the bed and stuff like that, or on a couch or something. But Gypsy is the woman whose mom had the Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and always made her believe and made other people believe that Gypsy was sick, and keeping her basically as a prisoner. She ended up killing her. But all of that stuff happening to her and everything, she was the most well known for having a messed up nose. I think that's how most people recognized her. Gypsy with the messed up nose. But she got that fixed. Did you see the pictures, Regan?
Yeah.
What do you think? Was there a big difference?
Not a huge difference. But that when I said she was getting a nose job, you lit up like the 4th of July. I said, you notice noses more than average people.
But I also looked at it like when she got out of penitentiary, there's no way that a person could, no matter how you feel about what she did and all of that, there's no way you can't know the story and not feel sorry for her and what she had to go through growing up. And so she came out of penitentiary, and then she started becoming famous because of the movies made about her and the documentaries and all of that. And she was in the limelight. She, stepped right out into social media that was, quickly had millions of followers and all of that. So when we live in a situation where you can become a celebrity, you can become infamous overnight. That's what happened with her. She steps out of those prison walls and boom. And I even said, I wonder how long it's going to be before she has a nose job, before she gets a nose job. And it wasn't long. And, shows up with the bandages and ready to go. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Big changes in her life. I mean, right out of the gate. Dumps the husband. Gets back with the ex-fiance.
The big change is getting married right before she got out of prison. That was stupid. Then that's over, and then she goes back to the guy she got engaged to in the penitentiary. Because listen, right away, you know that you're making a mistake if you are hitching your wagon to someone who is okay with starting a relationship and becoming committed to an inmate. Even if you're the inmate, you appreciate it and all, but you got to know, all right, this is not a good fit. I need somebody who's not good with inmates, like who wants someone who's not an inmate, because that's a completely different problem.
Yeah. But she grew up not knowing what real love and compassion is. She's got this warped sense, probably. I don't know. But the first guy she falls in love with helps kill her mother.
Right.
So I don't even know if she knows about love yet. And it does seem wild.
Well, you would think, though, I mean, she was in there for 8 years, that, some of the other caged heat in there would have told her some lessons in life. And you don't do that because there are always wise older inmates in these prisons.
Sure.
Look at old Morgan Freeman, man. In the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a wise old man sitting in there. I know there was a wise old woman in penitentiary she was in that could have helped her out. Probably tried.
Yeah. Maybe don't get married. You're going to have a life after this. You're getting out in a couple of years. Don't make any permanent decisions about how you want to spend the rest of your life.
You've spent your entire life not being free to do and explore and learn all the things that you want because of your mama. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to be married when you walk out. You're still wearing the monitor on your ankle. Now you're hitching your wagon to somebody else that's going to have control over your life, even if it's just a little bit of control. You don't want anybody having any of it.
Right.
But anyway, she's got a new nose. I don't know what's going to happen now. She's back with the other guy. Yeah. You also have to take into consideration she is from, and all of her family is from, Louisiana. We're different, people from Louisiana. We's different than everywhere else. I don't know where the guy is from. Is he from Missouri? Because I think that's where she was in prison, was Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did see her stepmother, I think it is.
Who's pretty cool and
who seems to be pretty well adjusted considering the amount of attention that she's now getting. They were in Hollywood doing one of those TMZ like celebrity tours because she wanted to see like a bunch of celebrities that she heard about in prison. And the stepmom is right there, and then TMZ gets on with the cameras, and they got the camera in her face. Yeah, she needs a bunch of people that genuinely love her to kind of show her what it feels like to be nurtured and cared for. And then you're a young person, you got plenty of time to. This older guy, I think he's also worrisome.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But her dad is also a good guy, but there are a couple of problems there. He works like off for long periods of time. And from what I can gather, it's something with ships and oil rigs or something, maybe. A lot of that in South Louisiana. And he didn't have any involvement in her life growing up because her mom wouldn't allow it. Her mom lied to him and said, we can't disrupt Gypsy's recovery right now, and you don't need to see her. And he would try, and she wouldn't let him. And then he would say, well, you know, I really want to see her, but I don't want to make her, you know, her health is in such bad shape. I don't want to make her worse. So he'd stay away. But the stepmom has, you know, a good head on her shoulders and knows, you know, how to deal with things. And that's the one that she needs to be relying on.
Absolutely.
Because she said she loves her like she's her own. She feels sorry for her, and that her mom was crazy and, you know, all of that.
And I like that her stepmom's not stepping out into every article in People Magazine and Us Weekly, giving every detail. She seems to be pretty understand the role that she now plays in this young woman's life.
Yeah, and in whatever you've ever seen in movies and stuff like that, where people are playing Cajuns and they have an accent, you know, like on Waterboy and all that. None of those accents were really authentic. If you ever hear Gypsy's stepmom talk, that's an authentic Cajun accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that that's good. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so she got her new nose. Good luck to her. Hope she puts it in the right place. You know.
Oh yeah.
Meaning, you know, she's not putting her nose in other people's, her new nose in somebody else's business.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be the greatest story ever if she gets a regular job and becomes sort of successful in her field or whatever it is. Whatever she decides to do, people are going to root for her. Mm-hmm. It'll be great.
Yeah, but you know, I said from the beginning when she first got out, and when you want people to root for you, that husband is going to mess it up. Because you remember he was jumping out there trying to be in all of her videos, and he was speaking on her behalf, yelling at people for criticizing her, and then he was talking crap about her ex-boyfriend that's, you know, not all there. You know, he's got some emotional issues and stuff. The one that killed her mom. It's like, you need to just shut up. Get out of the way. Yeah. So, good luck to her.
Absolutely.
I'm playing with my fancy thumb drive here. That's the noise. Okay, and then what is it about this this baby reindeer show that we've talked about that's so hot on the Netflix now?
Yeah.
The woman, it's about a comedian who had a stalker.
Yeah. Stand-up comedian has a stalker, says, you know, throughout the show, woman becomes more obsessed with him, sends a ton of emails, and it's based on a true story. Mm-hmm. So then the show is made, and now the real life stalker is considering suing the creator, saying, you're basically stalking me now through this show. Although her identity is remained anonymous, so she's speaking to a tabloid saying, no, he's stalking me now.
Oh, you're stalking me.
Not quite the same thing. He claimed, you know, she had sent him 41,000 emails over a short period of time and thousands of phone calls. So I don't know that she has a leg to stand on.
That whole "you're stalking me" defense is like, you know, going back to Gypsy in the documentary when she was saying that her grandfather molested her when she was little, like when she was 4 or whatever. And then they asked him about it, and he goes, "No, like she tried to touch me. I had to tell her when she was little she was trying to touch me." So this one was like, he's stalking me now.
She said, I'm the victim. He's written a bloody show about me. She said, this all amounts to bullying an older women on television for fame and fortune.
So she's saying she didn't stalk him?
I don't know that she's saying that.
Because
she's saying
I don't want to give away the show or anything. I haven't seen it, but I mean, the story is out there. Did she get arrested?
I don't believe so. And it sounds like her argument is going to be, we were good friends, and I was there to support him, and he's a struggling stand-up comedian. I went to all his shows, and did I email him 41,000 times? Yeah, but I had a lot to say.
But I'm the victim.
It's tough to get all that in one email. Yeah, but 41,000? Yeah, sometimes.
And how many calls? Oh, I don't know.
Our business manager, Adam, will send 41,000 emails sometimes. Doesn't make him a stalker.
Would you press charges on a woman who was stalking you
yeah.
if she weren't violent or anything? If she just, because I don't know the story. I don't know if the woman was violent or not. But if she just was emailing you constantly, or you had given her your number for some reason, like you were working with her, and
once
then
it goes from the technical side, the technological avenue,
Yeah.
somebody's just messaging you a lot to start showing up in your life and messing up your life in a way. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. You got to handle that because that can get out of control quickly.
I am very sensitive to stalker issues.
Yeah.
Not that I'm always accusing people of stalking me, but like I've talked about before, just using the term stalker in just a flippant way and calling somebody a stalker because they looked at old pictures of you on social media. Because the word stalker is a serious word. It describes a serious situation.
Yeah.
And you know how I'm so serious
Totally.
all the time.
Totally.
I don't play that.
Yeah.
And then Bette Midler says that she should have sued Lindsay Lohan because Lindsay Lohan messed up her sitcom back in the day.
I don't even remember the sitcom. Bette Midler had one season on a show called Bet, and Bette Midler reveals all this on David Duchovny's podcast. I'm like, even David Duchovny?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a podcast. But yeah, she said it was a mistake, worst mistake of her career. It only lasted one season. Ratings were horrible. And Lindsay Lohan was cast as her daughter, and she bailed after the pilot. I think even Lindsay Lohan was like,
Yeah.
this thing sucks.
But Bette Midler is one of those people who is not happy unless she's complaining about something, it seems. Like she's always complaining about something. She's always griping and yang, 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 yang. She seems like a miserable person. However, I don't think she blamed herself in any of this other than making a bad decision about even doing the project and not suing Lindsay Lohan. It was all somebody else's fault that the show was bad.
Yeah, I mean, she said, I wish I could have gotten in the writer's room, but television, it just works differently. And I guess if you've come from Broadway or whatever Bette Midler was known for, I'm assuming Broadway, it must be a different experience, like going from radio to podcasting. You learn as you go. But, yeah, I don't know. She just seems like a complainer. You're right. She spends all day on Twitter complaining about stuff.
She's a shrew.
Yeah.
She's an old shrew.
She's very talented, but you can be a lot of things at once. You can also be very talented and a pain in the ass.
Right. You know, I'm witty and fat. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's just like, start paying attention. Anytime Bette Midler is in the news, it's because she's complaining about something.
Yeah, because no one's looking for Bette Midler.
No.
I mean, unless you're an older woman or a gay guy, no one's checking for Bette Midler. No one.
Yeah, not even people in Hawaii. Because isn't that where she's from?
Bette Midler's from Hawaii?
I think.
Really?
I don't think she's Hawaiian, but I think she grew up in Hawaii.
Is her father a military guy or something?
I don't know. Let's look her up. There's this thing, I don't know if y'all have tried it yet. What is the name of it? Where you can look up facts about people. It's called Wikipedia.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Am I ever wrong? It doesn't seem like it. Born December 1st, 1945 in Honolulu. That's close to Hawaii.
Is that in Hawaii?
Mm-hmm.
Honolulu, Idaho.
Yep. Man. But, I mean, I can kind of tell she looks a lot like The Rock. Because isn't his family from Hawaii?
I never know. Is it Samoan or Hawaiian? I don't know. I don't know.
You're supposed to know. You're a wrestling fan.
I don't know I don't care where he's from.
Either way, she's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm. She's Hawaiian and always griping.
That's it.
Isn't that what you'd want to be known for? That you're always just nagging about something?
I wouldn't want it to overshadow my accomplishments, for sure.
Yeah.
She does have a long career and a successful career, but I wouldn't want that to be like same thing with Cher. It's like, you're Cher. You didn't have to go on Twitter. No one's dying for the next Cher tweet. Just make your music. But no, she's got to be on Twitter blasting everybody else.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So I've never seen Thelma and Louise. Wasn't she in that?
Who?
Bette Midler.
I don't know.
No. Or was she? It was Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon, right? Or was it Bette Midler and Susan Sarandon? I do know that Bette Midler used to be The Wind Beneath My Wings, though. No, I don't think she was. She was Beaches.
Okay.
Not Thelma and Louise. Thelma and Louise, I think Gina Davis and that Susan Sarandon. Yeah. I'm going to say that anyway.
You've been so right this whole podcast, so
Well,
I'm sure it's
now
right.
I got to look it up. Damn. Thelma and Louise. Okay, now this is showing that it was Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon.
Not Bette Midler.
Right. But I said that, though, right? At the end, I said, yeah, it was Gina Davis.
Sure. Whatever you said was probably.
Right. And Gina Davis is also a champion archer.
That checks out.
Mm-hmm. She looks like she'd be into archery. Ugh. All right, we got to go. It's running late, and I got things to do. I got to get home and do things. And then I'm going to do some other things. Thanks for watching and listening. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.
Serving the world. It's TJ's podcast.